Hey, they have some crazy controls on this Facebook thing. I mean, I'm not this Facebook, this YouTube thing I'm doing. So sorry I'm late today. I figured that out. It took me a while. All right. Like I said, I think we've tipped already. We might have tipped already. That means that the so-called tipping point in the climate. I mean, look at America. Look at the United States and see what's going on. You have major hurricanes, forest fires all over the place, extreme heat, uh, drought. I mean, if you the crisis that's in America right now with the pandemic and the drought and the fires and the hurricanes that are coming. Um, I wouldn't want to be Joe Biden, and I can, but I'll do this. I'll thank God it's Joe Biden, even though he's not the greatest, and it's not Trump because Trump would just be sitting in a corner with his thumb in his mouth, crying because he wouldn't know how to handle this. You know, his idea of handling things like situations like this is to blame people. He blames the state of California for not cleaning the leaves up around the trees. Uh, Climate is a hoax. It doesn't exist. Uh, what else? Hurricane. I don't know how I blame hurricanes. I'll blame them on. Maybe he'll get like everybody else and blame it on rocket launching. So, that's what he used to say about rocket launchings. When they launched a rocket from Cape Canaveral, it would rain. That's just stupidity. Brings me back to this to the story I wrote about. I've been harping on for the last couple of weeks. Is how can you be an educated person and not believe in science? Doesn't make any sense to me at all. But we have them out there, and unfortunately, a lot of them hold political offices. But yeah, the climate I worry about more than anything else because when you look at Lake Mead, which is lower than it has been since the day it was opened, or the day they closed the gates. I don't know how they figured it out, but uh, if you look at that and you say, well, there's still water there. Do you know how many people get water out of there? Do you know how much water is needed for electricity? You don't want electricity? Go ask the people down in Louisiana how it is without electricity. On the anniversary of Katrina, they get hit by another class 4 storm. Big monster comes in, tears up everything, knocks out the power to 1 million people in the city. I got to tell you, there's a lot of history down there, and I understand that. But when you have a city that's already below sea level, and you're using dikes and stuff like that to hold back the ocean and to hold back the rivers and everything else, I think that's kind of crazy. I think they should start thinking about ways of relocating it a little, maybe 10 miles north on the Mississippi. Just take the city and move it. Can be done. Would it cost $1 billion? Probably cost a few $1 billion. But you move these historical buildings, you pick them up and you move them. I don't think we have enough time left to do it, but it's an idea. I look at things and, I say to people, there's advantages to being old. Right. One is you've seen a lot of stuff. So if you can remember it, you got history on your side. I can't remember everything, but I do remember a good portion of what went on in my lifetime. And I read history books now, and I see there's some differences, and I question it. And people say, "Oh, no, you're wrong." I could be wrong once in a while, but not about everything. It's just not. It's not entirely possible. I can't be right about everything. I can't be wrong about everything. People change history all the time. History differs from country to country, especially when you talk about World War II, or if you talk about Vietnam. It differs from country to country exactly what happened there. Afghanistan will be the same way down the road. They'll history books will say this and they'll say that. The guys that are there will get forgotten. How many people? How many people remember where they were and everything that went on, other than the people who lived in New York City and that were close to it? How many people around the country do you think that remember 9/11? Seriously, would they have minor inconvenience? They couldn't fly for a couple of days. That's what it was all about. But climate's got, violence comes with climate too. Two extremes of climate. A lot of rain, like we have a lot of rain down here, so we have some violence going on and whatnot. We have more rain than we've ever had, apparently. I mean, I don't know. Sections of the country are drowning, and if you walk across the street from my house and step grass, it's like a sponge. Water comes squirting up out of the ground. That's how it is. It's just like the water table is about 1 inch below the surface right now. That's an extreme. We get a lot of extremes down here. We get nights that are we get desert nights, which, considering it's a city, is unusual, because usually you get a certain amount of retention heat from the building so that you don't get really cool. And we've gone down to, I think, 57 at night, which is kind of cool down here. I mean, from Medellin and Bogota, it's a different story. Bogota, they wear heavy coats and stuff like that if it goes to 40 to 50 degrees. I mean, down here, when it goes to 57 or 60, if it goes down to 60 degrees around here, people drag out their what we would consider winter clothing. And I'm still walking around in a t-shirt, Oh, wow. It's a strange world we live in right now. I think weather's really screwed up. I think, I look around and I see the reports and I see, the ice melting and everything. And everybody goes, so what? The ice is melting. That's what ice does. It melts. Not to the degree it is doing. And like they said, like some scientists have said, that there's stuff in the ground that you don't want to let out. There are diseases down in there that have been there for tens of thousands of years because of the ice. You don't want to let them out, because we don't know what they are. There are no cures for it. And when you I don't know exactly the science behind it, but if you desalinize, which is decrease the salt level in the oceans, excuse me, the currents all change, everything changes. Some fish can adapt to it. I mean, you see that now. They swim up the rivers, sharks, porpoises, dolphins, and stuff like that. So, I mean, the fish. If it doesn't happen overnight, fish will adapt to it to a certain degree. Some of them won't. But what's scary is what happens. They say it changes the way storms act and everything else. And you're seeing that now. You've seen storm tracks I don't know. I've seen these storm tracks before. They say that you're going to see a lot of them hitting New York. I guess it's how warm the ocean gets up there. And I don't know whether with an ice melt, the ocean shouldn't get warmer up there, and it should get colder. And I don't know whether you'll get hurricanes going up north. Then I don't understand currents that well and everything, so I really don't know what's going on in that direction. But I can tell you that drought. There's no rain. You want to see what happens in this country if you have a climate problem and you start to be able to not have food. Well, you say, we can grow vegetables inside, and you still need a certain amount of moisture to grow vegetables. It's Yeah, that was because of the population that people started saying we could grow things inside. Now you're talking about you gotta go up if you want to grow. What are you going to do? I mean, you still need water, some sort of moisture. Where are you going to get the water from? Well, desalinization. They say, okay, so you're desalinizing the ocean's already doing that to itself. So now what's next? Well, we got river water. We can pump it in. No, you can't. Where's it coming from? The Colorado River feeds Lake Mead. Okay, that's part of what's going on. Uh, there's no water in the Colorado River, and that's been that way. That's been getting that way for a long time because of the dams and everything they put up there on the river. Now it's even worse because you can't get to there's no water behind the dams. Things that we take for granted on a daily basis. What do we take for granted? We don't take heat and electricity because there are poor people that will tell you that that's not even. What do we take for granted? Well, we take water for granted. We do. We don't care about our water. I watch people constantly throw garbage in the water and think, well, it's going to be okay. Yeah, oh, hell, man, we got plenty of it. You know, there are things you have to start to think about. There's not what's the term? Unending supply of water or oil or natural gas. These things that we use, that we sort of take for granted and have taken for granted for years. People take for granted that they can drive down to the street, pull into a gas station, and get filled up. Okay? Those of us that lived through some of the gas crises back in the 70s and whatnot know that's not necessarily true. Okay? Worst thing that happened was they went away. People raise the price of gasoline, and they say that will keep people from driving the big vehicles. We're back to building SUVs and luxury cars and whatnot to consume fuel. All right, well, let's say we can go. They say, well, we can have solar power. Water's used in the manufacturing processes of water and oil are used in the manufacturing processes of solar panels. Oil is used as a lubricant for any piece of machinery we have out there. You want to make synthetics, you still see, where are you getting the liquid from? It's usually, so it's not water, it's oil. All right, so you have to have some sort of liquid. And if liquids are drying up, what do? Where are you going, man? People think they can, let's see, you ever watch a guy go out to the car, brand new car, and it doesn't start? Now, let's say he's got a few extra minutes, so he'll fool around. Maybe he'll open the hood and look at it, try to figure out what's wrong, and he knows he can't do it. It's just most people don't even know it. The engine's in the front or the back. So now let's say after about 20 minutes, you can't get the car started. It's going to be it's a bad day. AAA is going to take 2 hours to get to him, and they go in, and then the power goes out. And he forgot to charge his laptop and his cell phone. You want to see a guy get hysterical? Start banging on doors trying to borrow something, a laptop or something, right? That's all things we take for granted. I grew up in an age where we had telephones, but we had what they call dedicated. Well, you had panel, I guess it's called. You analog is a term they use. I'm not sure, but it wasn't digital. It was a regular phone. You dialed it. You had a rotary dial, and you push buttons. And I worked for the phone company, and I installed those wires in what they call the central offices for just about everything that they have. All right, and you can see central offices just disappeared. The manpower disappeared because all became computerized. Um, but I remember it wasn't necessary for me to walk out the house and pick up a cell phone. You know, if I was on the road, I had to get to a payphone, and I tell them, "Hey, look, man, I couldn't find a payphone." So meantime, I'm having a beer in some bar. Uh, this is it's a different world. We expect instant gratification. Turn on the phone, it's there. Turn on. We don't want TVs that take 3 or 4 minutes to warm up. We want a TV that turns on instantly. We're all upset about load up time for a computer. Turn it on, and they want it there instantly. I haven't seen one of those yet. I'm sure there's out there. Probably the government's got them or something, but I sure as hell haven't got them. Um, this is all things we want. I remember black and white TV. You had to imagine colors. People don't understand that. They take everything that we have today for granted, especially the younger people, because it's all brand new to. It's not new to them. Well, it's new, but it's not like brand new. I mean, it's been around for a few years now. So, the computer's been around for 30 years. So people look at that and say, okay, you know, I don't know what I would have done without it. Well, it's called an encyclopedia or a library. Libraries were cool. I used to go down there and meet my friends or something and hang out. They were nice and quiet. They were cool places to go, read a book or whatever. I'm a victim of the technology. I mean, I have, because I don't speak Spanish that well, I can read it, but not that well. I have a Kindle, and I download my books from the United States, so I need technology. I'm doing this. This is technology. Um, I used to do something similar to this when I was very young on a shortwave radio. I had my license and everything. But you were never too sure who was listening. You never knew how far away you were going, because if you did it at the right time of night, you could skip off clouds and you could be everywhere. With the computer, I turned the computer on. I'm everywhere. I'm doing this publicly. Anybody who wants to tune in anywhere in the world can look at this and say, "Hey, look at that dumb son of a bitch." All right. What else is good? But if all that goes away, what are we going to do? How are we going to live? People are not prepared for that. People's ideas of survival are to load up on guns, because what they're planning on doing is they say they're going to do it to protect what they have. But if a crisis of proportions of what they call a climate collapse happens, they're not going to have. So what are they going to do? They're going to take those guns and steal. And that's called survival. Start killing everybody. Survival. I doubt if I'll be around to see that. I might see some food riots and stuff like that if I live a couple of more years. I would rather not. That's not something you want to see in your country, or any country for that matter. But being poor is poor people haven't got a chance with the climate the way it is. If the climate fails, if power grids go down or something like that, poor people don't have a chance. They don't have shelters. They don't have access to flashlights and batteries and all what we consider the technology. Can they survive? Yeah. I don't know how many people know how to hunt and kill and cook outdoors, but you're going to have to learn how to do that. And of course, you can't go around and kill some cow or something and have a rare steak. You have to cook everything. Everything has to be very well cooked. And I don't know whether you can get disease from the smoke in the wood. If the wood is bad, I don't know. There's so many things I don't know, and so many things I wish I knew. But this. Everybody worries about the economy. Well, the economy is geared to the climate. everything goes back to the climate. And you have these morons running around that don't believe in it, that don't believe in the science of the climate science. They believe whatever somebody they want to believe, and if somebody says what something similar to that, then they will let that man president. Meantime, the rest of the world's going to shit. Uh, it looks like the rest of the world is ahead of us on the climate now, and we have the technology to do away with hydroelectric power. All right, we can generate power by wind and by sun. We don't need hydroelectric power. We don't have to build more dams. Dams are for water, not for power. All right. If we did that, and of course we stop using coal and oil and all that because they say, well, furnace is heat. That's how you generate power. You want a hot water in the city. The boilers have to have heat and all that. Yeah, it's gas. It's not wood. It's gas. Natural gas exists. But it's not going to last forever. Now we wait. My wife does this, and I see a lot of human beings do this. I think it's in our nature. We wait to the last minute or thereabouts before we start to prepare ourselves. All right. The average individual in this country, and I'm not talking about the survivalists. I'm just talking about the average guy gets up and has no idea what the climate's doing and doesn't really care. He goes to the beach. It's sunny. He doesn't care. He goes to the golf course. A little brown. I can live with that. Can't get any water. Oh, the water's a little funny today. Yeah, give me a beer instead. Where's the water? Where's the beer come from? Comes from water. There'll be no liquor. There'll be no beer. There'll be no juices. Oh boy. Take a look at your worst science fiction movie, all right? That deals with the end of days or something like that, and you'll see what's in our future right now. Depressing, but it's in our future. But the difference between, like, say an asteroid hitting a planet, what have you. The difference between now and when some of these disasters have happened to us in the past is we have the technology to do something about it. But look at New Orleans. Nobody moves out of New Orleans. Only the poor people moved out of New Orleans because the rich people don't get flooded. The rich people are all up on the hill in the city. The poor people are down on the flatlands, right along the coast. They get wiped out. That's the problem with this country. There's an inequality if you want to see it. Look at a disaster. All right, look at Haiti. All right, how many they've had a couple of earthquakes and storms and everything down there, and they get tons. I mean, literally hundreds, thousands of tons of stuff sent to them. Poor people don't get it. Where's it go? Rich people take it. Criminals take it. It's the same all over the world, And they'll tell you the reason they do it is it's because the strong are supposed to survive. The strong are supposed to survive and help the weak. Aid the weak. Not beat them and steal from them. I wonder how many more years I've got left, I don't think many. Depressing. I don't know what it is about Mondays. I should start doing this on another day of the week. Mondays depress the hell out of me. Even my music selection this morning was Johnny Johnson, a great blues pianist, and I played all his mellow tunes, Sundays is hard rock day on my 3 for 3 thing. So that's that's pretty cool. Um, I haven't got, I'm doing this live, and as far as I can tell, I haven't had a viewer in about 6 weeks. So I don't care. Gonna go out and do a full court press. I'm gonna start putting videos out. Oh yeah, I told you I was gonna do a video showing Antonio. Antonio, then I don't know. She's getting old. She's getting grumpy. So we're gonna try again this week and see what we can do to get a video up of Antonia so you can all take a look at her. She's a medium-sized Labradoodle, half Labrador, half poodle. She's got a great personality. She's right now. She's getting. I don't know whether she's getting older. She's got something wrong with her, because the vets won't check her out the way I want them to. It's when it comes to money, it's. I really can't say how things are, but it's just that when I need something for her, it's a little harder to get money, and it's my money, so. But I have a big money crisis coming up in December. We'll see what happens there. My bank is dropping me, so we have to figure out what we're going to do with that. What else can I tell you? Can I tell you anything else? I don't know. Don't forget to read my blog on Sundays. It's floundersgreatadventure.com. Okay. I do the videos on. I post videos. When I post my videos, I post them on Twitter. Of course, they're on YouTube. You just look up Jeffrey Bruff. You sign up for the channel. If you like them, sign up for the channel. If you don't like them, sign up for the channel. Then you have something you can throw at your computer monitor, or your a reason to throw your cell phone against the wall or something. Damn, I'm still good looking. That's the thing, boy. That's all that really matters. I'm still good looking. The thing is, I should start writing these things down, or I should jump on the computer when I have these thoughts going through my head. I have all these great conversations planned out, and then I get on the computer and I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm frustrated and whatnot, but we're getting down there. You know what? You get to the end, towards the end, and you have trouble thinking about what you're going to say or do to fill up those last 2 or 3 minutes. You won't want to end early, You want to go to full 30 minutes. It's kind of strange, but I'm a strange guy. So, like I said, we'll try and get a video up of Antonia. See, if I post the video, I can use my other camera, and that camera has a long cord on it, and I can move it around. So maybe we can get some photographs of her. I'll show you some of the work I've done. Some of the work I've been doing, wood burning and carving projects and stuff that I've got going on. I'll try and get some of that up. Like I said, though, the Monday conversations are hard. They really are. And not because it's Monday or anything. It's just because you try to pick a topic that's not depressing. But football's here, so we'll be able to talk some football, I got the NFL Game Pass, so we'll sit down and we'll talk some games and whatnot. What's going on? Whose quarterback is doing what? Did they get cut? Are they going to be around? Who knows what? I don't know. If you have a favorite team or something, let me know. Don't be strangers, folks. Come by and visit me every once in a while. I feel like I'm an invalid, and nobody comes to see me. I'm just that old man sitting in the corner. I'll have to start smoking and drinking again. Then those conversations will get really interesting. All right, listen, that's about it for me. I'll talk to you next week. Have a good week.